Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Pauline Verzosa. The Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, clarified that we are not leaving Escoda Shoal. This as BRP Teresa Magbanua left the shoal after 5 months of monitoring the area against Chinese vessels and projects. PCG spokesperson for West Philippine Sea, Commodore J. Tarriela, assured the public that Teresa Magbanua will return to Escoda Shoal after she gets repaired. He is also confident that China cannot immediately reclaim Escoda Shoal.
We have not lost anything. We did not abandon anything. The reclamation would take 4 years. Kung mawala ba tayo ng isang araw, dalawang araw, isang linggo, makagawa na sila ng runway, right? It doesn't go that way.
Maritime security expert Ray Powell weighs in on the temporary pullout of BRP Teresa Magbanua from Escoda Shoal. He says the vessel is not another Sierra Madre. Here's an excerpt from his interview on The Big Story.
What was your reaction when you heard that it was getting recalled? Did you anticipate this?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. It was never going to be tenable over the long term once China decided to really aggressively contest it. So, the issue that the Philippines had at Escoda Shoal was simply one of mass. The Chinese are able to send dozens of ships, as you have seen already in the past, to essentially quarantine the Teresa Magbanua, and again, as they experienced, actually getting a ship through a determined quarantine is almost impossible.
The officials are obviously all taking pains to insist that we have not lost anything at this point, that no feature has been lost, that this isn't a capitulation to China. Bearing in mind, though, that all these features we're talking about are well within the exclusive economic zone of the Philippines. But what do you think? Have we lost anything?
I mean, I think you have to start with the question of, did the Philippines really sort of have Escoda Shoal to begin with? There was one ship out there. There were dozens of Chinese ships. It was sort of a random engagement in a lot of ways. The Teresa Magbanua did not go out there to claim the shoal. It was already a Philippine shoal. It was already within the Philippine EZ. It went out there ostensibly to keep an eye on China because of the suspected reclamation activities in the dumping of the coral. So I don't know that Manila really expected such a rash and sort of over-the-top Chinese response to an anchoring. But China framed the whole thing almost in terms of as if it was a second Sierra Madre. There are all this weird language about a quasi-grounding, and that there was clear concern that for some reason the Philippines would take one of its newest, largest, most modern ships and ground it at Escoda Shoal. That was never realistic, but that was the way China reacted. And so, this was one of those things that sort of happened. I don't think either side ever really expected. China used it as a pretext to escalate.
Now, a security analyst believes that China is trying to prevent BRP Teresa Magbanua to be another military outpost in the West Philippine Sea. In an interview with Storycon, International Development and Security Cooperation founding president Chester Cabalza said the country outwitted China when we placed BRP Sierra Madre in Scarborough Shoal. This is why China's end goal is to block and reduce the country's resupply missions in the West Philippine Sea. Cabalza also noted, though, that it is not an easy task for China.
It's not an easy game for China. Unang-una, ang dami nating malalakas na bala laban sa kanila for the reasons that the international community believes in us. And they are watching also. Habang nga binabangga nila tayo, mas dumadami yung kaibigan natin. And I think that's the magic of what we are doing right now.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other headlines. In the Philippine Star, the birthday bash for President Marcos has drawn flag after a copy of the supposed invitation to the event circulated online. The party, which featured a performance by British pop rock band Duran Duran, was organized at no cost to the government, according to Malacanang. And in business world, money sent home by overseas Filipino workers rose to a 7-month high in July. Cash remittances coursed through banks climbed by 3.1% to over $3 billion from $2.9 billion a year ago. The health department has recorded a total of 18 mpox cases so far. 5 of them have recovered, while 13 are still considered as active cases. The latest cases were recorded in Metro Manila and CALABARZON. Health Secretary Ted Herbosa reminded the public that no approved mpox vaccine is available in the country, but we are set to receive 2,000 vaccines in the next few months. And now here are some developments outside Metro Manila. The Supreme Court orders Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia to pay damages to HSBC for failing to settle her debt for a loan back in 1996. According to the SC decision, Garcia has to pay $700,000 in damages, including a 12% legal interest and 404,000 pesos in legal costs. The regional wage boards of Calabarzon and Central Visayas have issued wage orders granting increases for minimum daily wages. The new minimum wages in the private sector in Calabarzon now range from 425 to 560 pesos, while those in Central Visayas range from 453 to 501 pesos. And Visayan Electric residential customers will see a 95 centavo increase per kilowatt hour in their electricity rates for the September to October billing month. VECO says the increase is driven by higher transmission charges and the final installment of deferred payments for power purchases made last May. Pinipilit bumangon ng ilang mga residente sa Tondo, Manila matapos masunog ang kanilang bahay noong nakaraang linggo. Ang iba sa kanila nangangalakal pa ng mga bagay mula sa kanilang nasunog na bahay. At para bigyan ng mukha ang balita, Mobile Journal, Ivan Tarinque.
Libo-libo ang apektado sa nangyaring sunog dito sa Tondo. Nagbabakas sakali naman ang ilang nasunugan na may mapapakinabangan pa sa natupok nilang ari-arian. Ito ang eksenang inabutan ko sa pagbisita sa Aroma Road 10 sa Tondo, Manila matapos ang sunog sa lugar. September 14 ng hapon nang lamunin ng nagagalit na apoy ang mga tahanan na nasa 2,000 pamilya o 8,000 individual at makalipas ang ilang araw. Matyaga silang naghahalukay sa patong-patong ng mga debris sa pagbabakas sakaling may mapapakinabangan pa mula sa mga natupok nilang bahay. Kabilang sa nasunugan sila Romel Baluya. Ang masaklap, nangyari ang sakuna kung kailan kakapanganak pa lang ng kanyang asawa.
Nag-aayos pa kami kung ano pa yung mga masasalba namin eh. Kung ano yung mapapakinabangan pa para may pang-araw-araw. Pambiling gatas eh, bagong panganak yung misis ko eh.
Sa datos, tinatayang nasa 2 milyong piso ang halaga ng natupok. Pero sa kabila ng masaklap na dinanas, ang mga residente hindi nawawalan ng pag-asa.
Pasalamat ako, ligtas kami lahat. Wala namang nano. Yung nga lang, wala kami nasalbang gamit kahit isa.
Po, ganun talaga eh. Pag di ka manong, nganga ka. Lahat naman kami rito eh.
Sa kabilaan ng sakuna, umaasa ang mga biktima na muli rin silang makakabangon sa kinakaharap na trahedya. Mobile Journal, Ivan Tarinque po, hatid ang muka ng balita.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Pauline Verzosa. We are One News.